Juan Soto, MLB offseason, hot stove, on the grill, 24/7. It's not stopping. Soto Mania is real. He's a Latino star, one of the best free agents of all time, arguably the best. Right up there with Alex Rodriguez and Shohei Ohtani, who we just saw get $700 million last year. Now, can Soto top that? Who else is in play here for Soto besides the Yankees? How long is this all going to take? How complex is this deal? All this stuff. How much is he actually worth? Where do I think the contract lands? That's what I'm going to go into. So, had a career high last year, 41 bombs. Let's start there. 109 RBI, just one off his career high. OPS was 953, which is close to his career high. His walks, 129, were second in the AL behind Aaron Judge. Now, Aaron Judge benefited more than anyone from Juan Soto. He had his best season, not talking about October, obviously, but regular season. Batting average, on base, slugging, OPS, all of that stuff was even better than when he hit 60 home runs. And what else do I need to say other than that? The fact that these two can do damage like that could be really special in the Bronx for a long time. This is a huge offseason for the Yankees, and the Yankees need to secure Juan Soto. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, is the contract going to be the prettiest thing in the world? No, it's not. Is the back end going to be good? No, it probably isn't. But, again, you can draw a line in the sand, but all that is going to do is get him to go to Queens. And the Mets are a very, very real threat. I felt that way since the beginning. That has not changed at all. I still feel like the Yankees and Mets, it's a true two-team race, in my opinion. Then you have the Red Sox in third, Blue Jays fourth, Dodgers in distant fifth. Now the Mets, Steve Cohen, we know what he can do. We know how much money he has, all that. Is he really going to go $50 million over the top of any offer? If that's the case, then Juan Soto might be a Met. Because that's way too big of a gap to bridge, even if he wants to stay with the Yankees. Let's say the Yankees can do that and get close to under $50 million. Is it $20 million? Is it $30? Is that too high? Does it have to be 10? Is it within 5? I don't know. But again, if it comes down to most money and the Yankees don't have the highest offer, then he's not going to be a Yankee. It's that simple. So Red Sox are third to me. I know there's been a lot of hype on a Dominican culture with the Red Sox, with Pedro, with David Ortiz, with Manny Ramirez, and all of them showing him how he could be a Boston Dominican legend, which they have plenty of. And of course, he would have the opportunity to be paired with fellow Dominican star Rafael Devers. So a lot of Dominican reporters are in on this possibility for Boston. Another report out there that Boston's trying to get a max number from Soto and Boris that they can sign him at, but there's nothing imminent there. So time frame wise, what are we looking at? Still going to stay definitely the winter meetings. Scott Boras really enjoys the winter meetings. It's all about business. He's always getting his guys signed there, especially the big names. He loves the spotlight, the media, all of it. And that's what he's going to get in Dallas when he delivers Juan Soto to whatever suitor ends up signing him. And here's the thing. Sunday's the dead day of the meetings, kind of. Not too much happens. Monday, things start to pick up, but it's normally nothing too crazy. Tuesday, a lot of times you get that big bombshell. Last year, Wednesday was the day he got traded. So, those last 2 days, a lot of stuff really tends to happen. And that's why I'm going to stand with the belief that he's going to do one of those 2 days, not before the winter meetings, not after. But if I was to say which one's more likely, it's probably after, and it lingers than it getting done quickly and before. So I will say that as well. Now, the Red Sox do offer some good things. Their field plays very well to him. His defense could be very well masked at left field with the Green Monster. And that is something that he could look into. And a lot of lefties have hit well there. But I just don't really see it, because how are you going to not pay Betts and then a few years later you're going to pay double that for Soto? That's not adding up to me. And yeah, there's an age difference, though. It was 26, which is why we're talking about this crazy contract that might top Ohtani. But at the same time, I just don't think Boston's going to outspend the Yankees or the Mets for Juan Soto. The Blue Jays might, but the problem they're dealing with is that they're in Canada. He may not want to go over there. You got to deal with the currency exchange. Yes, it's still the East, but he does want to be closer to Dominican, which is definitely New York or Boston. So That's another reason why I think Toronto is out. And then they have to take care of their own Dominican star in Vladdy Jr. And that's going to be maybe half or even more than that of what Soto ends up getting. So I just can't see the Blue Jays dishing out that much money to two players and not having the rest of the roster be sufficient. That doesn't make sense to me. The Dodgers are ridiculous. They want to defer everything. Soto doesn't want deferred money. He turned down $440 million. And last year I asked Boris about this. The eyebrows went up. So obviously it's going to be way more than that. I'm not breaking any news with that. But what I'm talking about is that he doesn't want deferred money. Maybe a little bit of it can be deferred. And then are you going to break Shohei's AAV record, which is either 43 or 46, depending how you look at it? There's been some discrepancies with that based on all the stuff that's deferred. But I believe that Soto's going to get a contract, $50 million a year. It's going to be 13 to 15 years. My first projection was 13 for 650. That feels low. With Soto, his defense is not good. That's my problem, giving him over $700 million, even though his age is hitting all the stuff, the Ted Williams comps, all of that is relevant. But his defense, no runs saved. He was somehow a Gold Glove candidate. Don't know how. He did throw out 10 runners. That's probably how. But he did that last year too. His range is really bad. His zone rating's negative 5.1. His OOA is negative 4. And can this stuff get better? I don't know. He only made 2 errors, but that's so subjective for outfielders. It's so hard to make errors. It definitely could have been way more. So it's tough to really judge that. Is he a first baseman for the Yankees if they go back to him eventually because they have a huge hole at first? Is he going to be a DH when Stan leaves? That's definitely possible, or wherever he ends up. Like, he's definitely not long for right field. Do you shift him to a left field that has a shorter area maybe, like a Fenway Park situation? But the Yankees don't have that. He's in right, and then that takes Judge out of right, which is not their best alignment. But I digress. For the Mets, got to put him in left, I would think, because that right field's huge. But, again, that's tough, too. His defense is not great. It's workable, I guess. I mean, he still had an 8 WAR, so I'm not going to say the defense is so bad it impacts his WAR, but if he was like an above average defender, it's probably a 10 WAR. But anyway, he's still ridiculously good. He deserves a lot of money. I'm not sure if it's going to be Yankees or Mets right now, but I will say this again before I get off. Tuesday or Wednesday, Yankees or Mets. And let's say final number, give me 14 for 701. Let's get crazy. Julian Guilarte concluding my thoughts on Juan Soto.